The time is 8:45 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Dilini Gunawardena and read by Tilani Pires. The headlines. The President Ranil Wickremesinghe expresses condolences on the death of the Iranian president. The state Vesak festival commences. The new regulations will be introduced for cultivating uncultivated land. 2 key economic bills are to be introduced in the House tomorrow. A Thai delegation explores renewable energy cooperation in the island. And on international news, Iran begins days of funeral ceremonies for President Raisi. And on sports news, the Para-Athletics World Championships, Samita Dulan sets a new world record in the men's javelin throw. The President Ranil Wickremesinghe expressed condolences on the death of Iranian President Dr. Ibrahim Raisi. President Ranil Wickremesinghe said Sri Lanka is deeply shocked and saddened by the tragic death of President Ibrahim Raisi, Foreign Minister Amir Abdullahian and other senior Iranian officials. Recalling the recent visit of Dr. Raisi to Sri Lanka to inaugurate the Uma Oya project, the Sri Lankan President noted that it was instrumental in fostering tangible benefits for the people of Sri Lanka and significantly strengthening the bonds of friendship and cooperation between the two nations. The State Minister Anupa Pasquale emphasized that the government is carrying out a number of programs to strengthen the vulnerable communities of the country. New laws are being introduced to facilitate the use of uncultivated land for agricultural purposes, and land is vital for social empowerment. The State Minister also announced that the government has decided to incorporate a skill or professional stream into the GCE ordinary level examination to promote social empowerment. The government has recognized numerous uncultivated lands across the country. These lands should be utilized for agricultural purposes. Since land holds pivotal importance in social empowerment, endeavors are underway to enact a new legislation facilitating the utilization of uncultivated but arable land. Meanwhile, the newly launched Leah Savia program aimed at empowering preschool teachers. The primary objective of this program is to empower 1.2 million disadvantaged beneficiaries with a target of empowering 300,000 families during this year. The State Minister made these remarks during a press briefing titled Collective Path to a Stable Country held at the Presidential Media Centre today. The acting Finance Minister, Shyaam Semasinga, said that 2 key bills aimed at bolstering the country's economy will be introduced in Parliament tomorrow. The Economic Transformation Bill and the Public Financial Management Bill are designed to enhance the management of public finances, thereby safeguarding against future economic downturns. Addressing a media briefing, the acting Finance Minister said that the legislation stems from the vision of President Ranil Wickremesinghe himself rather than being proposed by the IMF. The new legislation will focus on preserving economic stability and maintaining optimal levels of public financial management to avert future economic crises. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Minister Kanchana Wijesekara said a high-level delegation of Thai officials and private sector representatives met at the Ministry of Power and Energy in Sri Lanka to explore renewable energy cooperation. Taking to X, Minister Wijesekara said officials from various Thai agencies and the private sector, including the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister of Energy and the Royal Thai Embassy, convened a meeting on Monday at the Ministry of Power and Energy. Acting on instructions from the Prime Minister of Thailand, the delegation is in Sri Lanka to assess the feasibility and potential for future cooperation and investment in renewable energy, particularly focusing on electricity generation. During the meeting, discussions centered around policies and plans for the electricity sector, multilateral interconnections, proposed sector reforms, necessary investments in renewable energy, the potential of green hydrogen, and avenues for energy cooperation between the two countries. The National Dengue Control Unit under the Ministry of Health has issued a warning regarding potential mosquito breeding during the upcoming southwest monsoon season. The director of the unit, Dr. Sudat Samravira, emphasized the need for the vigilance, stressing that the total of 23,000 dengue cases have been reported in Sri Lanka so far this year. Dengue is currently spreading rapidly in several districts including Colombo, Gampaha, Kalutara and Jaffna. The highest number of patients are reported from the Colombo district. 9 dengue-related deaths have been recorded this year so far. In response to this situation, a National Dengue Prevention Week has been announced starting May 26th. The aim of this is to reduce the risk of dengue outbreaks associated with the monsoon rains. That ends the local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
The State Vesak Festival commenced under the patronage of Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena today. The opening ceremony was held at the Dharmaraja Pirivena premises, Matale. President Ranil Wickremesinghe will attend the event on the 23rd of May. This year's Vesak Festival will be on the theme, "Let's not look at what others have done, but what we have done." The chief monks of the three chapters, other religious leaders and other dignitaries, including parliamentarians, diplomats and government officials, took part in this occasion. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
And on Watchlight tonight, the Minister of Education has issued a special statement addressing a false announcement circulating on social media which claimed that all schools in the island would be closed tomorrow. The Ministry clarified that no decision has been made to close schools tomorrow and that schools across the island will remain open. The Minister has also emphasized that the authority to make decisions based on special situations rests with the provincial education secretaries and provincial education directors. That came to you in Watchlight. Coming up, World News. World News headlines first. Iran begins days of funeral ceremonies for President Raisi. Japan blocks iconic Mount Fuji view due to misbehavior by tourists. A London-Singapore flight is hit by turbulence. Iranians have gathered in Tabriz, the capital of East Azerbaijan province, to mourn at a farewell procession for President Ibrahim Raisi, who died in a helicopter crash on Sunday. Tens of thousands of mourners waving Iranian flags and portraits of the late president set out from a central square in the northwestern city where Raisi was headed when his helicopter crashed. After the procession in Tabriz, the bodies of the deceased will be transferred to Tehran for another ceremony. The authorities in Japanese town completed the installation of a large mesh barrier that blocks off the view of Mount Fuji, a deliberate move to discourage badly behaved tourists from taking photos at the spot. Frustrated locals have for years complained about foreign visitors littering, trespassing and breaking traffic rules in pursuit of the perfect photo of the iconic stratovolcano. A 73-year-old British citizen has died and over 30 other people have been injured on a Singapore Airlines flight from London, which was hit by severe turbulence. The Singapore-bound Boeing 777-300ER was diverted to Bangkok, making an emergency landing. Singapore Airlines said that the flight was carrying 211 passengers and 18 crew members. It also said 31 people who were on board the plane had been taken to hospital. The airline is working with Thai authorities to provide medical assistance to passengers and are sending a team to Bangkok to provide any additional help needed. Back to the world news headlines. Iran begins days of funeral ceremonies for President Raisi. Japan blocks iconic Mount Fuji view due to misbehavior by tourists. A London-Singapore flight is hit by turbulence. That ends world news.
Development news.
As the world commemorates International Tea Day, Ceylon tea stands proudly at the forefront, celebrating its rich heritage, unparalleled quality and global significance. International Tea Day serves as a poignant reminder of the profound cultural and economic impact of tea on societies across the globe. Amidst the festivities, Ceylon tea producers reaffirmed their commitment to sustainability, community empowerment and environmental stewardship. Through responsible cultivation practices and ethical sourcing initiatives, they strive to preserve the natural beauty of Sri Lanka's tea-growing regions while empowering local communities and supporting livelihoods. This year's focus will shine a spotlight on women in the tea sector, highlighting their rich and diverse contributions across the supply chain from crop to cup. That came to you in Development News. Moving on with sports news. And tonight, news on Para-Athletics World Championships. Samita Dulan Kodituaku set a new world record in the F44 javelin throw category at the Para-Athletics World Championships Kobe 2024 with a throw of 66.49 meters. Despite his remarkable achievement, he secured the silver medal as the javelin throw event combines both F64 and F44 categories. The gold medal was won by the Indian athlete with a final distance of 69.50 meters. Meanwhile, Nuan Indika Gamage will take part in the long jump T44 event tomorrow. That ends sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The embassy in Vietnam has a meeting with the topmost management of the iconic automobile manufacturer VinFast at their corporate head office in Hanoi to discuss and explore commercial and investment opportunities, thus benefiting both Sri Lanka and VinFast. VinFast is the auto manufacturer under the parent company of Vingroup, one of the largest listed corporates in Southeast Asia. That ends Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
And on economic news, the central bank launched the Financial Literacy Roadmap of Sri Lanka, marking a significant step towards enhancing the financial capabilities of Sri Lankans. This roadmap, a cornerstone of Sri Lanka's national financial inclusion strategy, offers evidence-based guidance to all stakeholders engaged in financial literacy initiatives, aligning them towards a common objective, improving the financial behavior of Sri Lankans and bolstering their financial resilience. That came to you in economic news.
Weather report.
The Met Department predicts that the prevailing showery and windy conditions will continue further since the southwest monsoon conditions are gradually establishing over the island. Cloudy skies can be expected over most parts of the island. Showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the western, Sabragama, central, northwestern, southern and northern provinces. Very heavy showers, about 150 millimeters, are likely at some places in the western and Sabragama provinces and in the Kandy and Norelia districts. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters are likely at some places in the northwestern province and in Gaul and Matra districts. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in the other provinces of the island. Fairly strong winds, about 30 to 40 kilometers per hour, can be expected at times over the island. That was the weather report. And now to end this news broadcast, the main points once again. The President Ranil Wickremesinghe expresses condolences on the death of the Iranian president. The State Vesak festival commences. The new regulations will be introduced for cultivating uncultivated land. 2 key economic bills are to be introduced in the House tomorrow. A Thai delegation explores renewable energy cooperation in the island. And on international news, Iran begins days of funeral ceremonies for President Raisi. Sports. Para-Athletics World Championships, Samita Dulan sets a new world record in the men's javelin throw. That ends this news broadcast, and now it's back to Chandima Virakon as always on a Tuesday night.
Thank you very much, Tilani. That was Tilani Paredes bringing you the night bulletin of news. And 9 is the time, and at 9 o'clock we commence the family choice this evening as well. You can call me with your requests and dedications on our hotline 269-4316.